Good morning, it's Dispeller here. We're going to be doing Chapter 11 review and discussion of dealing with people you can't stand. If you've missed any of our former chapters, I will link them somewhere on the screen. I've been trying to learn how to do that. It's not the easiest thing if you're not used to it. Today we're going to be talking about the sniper. Yesterday we did the tank, and today we're talking about the sniper. Just want to let all of you know if you have any comments, questions, input, etc., or you want to come and chat with your friends here, just do so decently, please. No F-bombs, no foul language, no cussing, no perversion, and please don't bully people in the chat. That's the rules. Just letting you know. I'm going to read, and you can do what you do in the side chat over here, and I'll answer whatever I need to answer or talk to whoever I need to talk to in between. But I'm going to get right into it, and then later on we will have a discussion. Okay, so the sniper. Darren and Jay were engineers in a high-tech firm. Darren was 5 years older than Jay, and he had been with the company 3 years longer. For that reason, everyone figured that the promotion would go to Darren. But Jay was easy to get along with. He was a hard worker, and he had demonstrated a lot of initiative and creativity. His efforts had finally been noticed by the powers that be and rewarded. Jay was promoted to regional sales manager. 1 week after his promotion, Jay parked his car and entered the building. As he headed for his new office, he could see his entire staff gathered around Darren in the hallway. They appeared to be hanging on Darren's every word and laughing excitedly. As Jay drew nearer to the group, their laughter quieted down until Darren's voice could be heard clearly. "Yeah, that Jay." Darren was saying, "You ask him what time it is, he tells you how to make a watch. He's got nothing to say, but you have to wait so long to find out." Ha ha ha. Noticing that his audience was no longer laughing, Darren turned his head in the direction of everyone else's gaze, only to find himself looking at Jay's flustered expression. Here's the big man himself. "What did I do to deserve this?" thought Jay to himself as he tried to figure out how to respond to being targeted by a sniper. So basically he was being sarcastic and mocked. Or being sarcastic and being mocked. No, how do I say that? The guy that was sniping at Jay was being sarcastic and mocking Jay. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry. Brain just woke up this morning, if you can't tell. There are several motivations for sniping behavior. Some people snipe when they're angry about the way events have turned out, and they are carrying a grudge against the person or people who interfered with their plans. Some people snipe as a way of undermining anyone who might interfere with their plans. Welcome, two people, one person. And some people snipe just to get some attention from people they like. Unfriendly fire. Let me show you this little illustration here in the book. Hold it up there long enough that you can kind of see what it's about. Shows you where the sniper is down here in the grand scheme of things, so to speak. When events don't go as planned or they're obstructed by others, a get-it-done person may try to eliminate the opposition through sniping. To avoid retaliation, a covert operation is called for. So the sniper hides behind such devious techniques as rude comments, sarcastic humor, biting tones of voice, and the classic roll of the eyes. Snipers can use confusion as a weapon by making irrelevant remarks that throw people off track and leave them looking foolish. A few well-placed shots, and in time, the sniper is the only one left standing and in control. Excuse me. When there is a grudge associated with sniping, "Don't get mad, get even" becomes the sniper's modus operandi. Here are a few of the grudges that have inspired sniper attacks, as reported by people in our seminar audiences. Here are examples of things that inspired the sniper to snipe. The chauvinist who didn't like working for a woman supervisor. That one's timely after my last video. That's what it is, chauvinist. That's the word I was looking for in my other video if you haven't seen it. The elder who didn't want to answer to a young upstart who lacked his experience. the functionary who believed she'd been bypassed on an important project, the girlfriend who was in love with the guy her best friend married, the mother whose advice about whom to marry was ignored, the father whose daughter married someone who wasn't good enough for her, the classmate who was jealous of the new student's successes, and in the case of Darren and Jay, Darren was angry about being bypassed for the promotion, and he wrongly blamed Jay. Friendly fire. Not all sniping is meant to kill or even wound. There is such a thing as the relatively innocent, attention-getting, playful snipe. So like jib jabs, unless they're mean. That's kind of like a sniping that's playful. Sometimes teasing is an attention-getting strategy motivated by the desire to make people laugh and thus gain appreciation. Good friendships sometimes thrive on the playful rivalry of put-down humor. In the artificial and ever-present world of television, they call this a situation comedy. Everyone teases everyone else mercilessly. Then the studio audience laughs loudly, and it's on to the next scene. Another thing that you can see this in is called Drop the Mic, where they literally dig at each other and insult each other in a playful way. And they're both doing it to each other. So it's not like one person, just antagonizing and irritating the other person and the other person feeling like garbage. It's both of them picking at each other, and they know that that's what they're doing. That's a snipe. Let's see. But in the real world, not everyone likes sarcasm or has the ability to laugh at a well-aimed put-down. Instead of merely grazing the intended target, a playful snipe can cause a mortal wound. And the playful sniper might never know that any damage was done because the target of the jibe was smiling on the outside while bleeding on the inside. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes I've been sniped at and I'll laugh along with it, but inside it's really hurting or irritating me. You'd better adjust your attitude. If you don't like to be teased and sniping wounds you, it may become common knowledge that you're an easy target. Once word gets out, a time may come when someone will try to take advantage of your weakness. Witness the way grade school kids torment each other, and you'll see that the most vulnerable one takes the brunt of the teasing. And every time you react to the sniping, you'll be setting yourself up as they gain encouragement to dish out more of the same. Now, this almost seems like victim blaming the way they're wording this, so I want to address this in my opinion and in my frame of mind. When someone is being sarcastic and sniping at you, you have a right to say, hey, that hurt, or I don't appreciate that. And if the sniping continues, you have a right to take action in whatever way is, moral and legal to do so. But I don't for a moment feel like you deserve to be targeted. And this kind of almost sounds like that. Well, if you let it get to you, then you're just bound to be the victim because you're setting yourself up. No, I think there's, you do need to have a little bit of a tough skin in certain situations. Like I've said before on YouTube, if you're going to be on here, and especially being a creator, you do need to have a tough skin a little bit. I'm not saying I always have had a tough skin, but it does help a lot because you will be targeted by jib jabs. You will be having videos made of you. It's just part of being on here now. That's just how YouTube has gone. And because YouTube does not, the powers that be do not do anything about it, it's more likely to happen, and you're more likely to be the product or the target of that person that's doing that. So yeah, that's just how it is. It's not that I'm saying you deserve it or victim shaming or anything, because no, nobody deserves to be victimized. Sometimes it is helpful if it's not a real harmful thing that they're saying for you to laugh along with it and play along. But other times, if it's just out and out critical and evil and mean, then take action. Provoked in this way, you may want to lash out blindly or run away, but in either case, the sniper will extract a victory from your defeat. Or you may tease back, but be warned, if you've never learned how to say obnoxious things in a humorous way to difficult people, your half-hearted attempts at revenge will surely backfire on you. So you might as well face up to it. To get sniping to stop, you're going to have to learn how to live with it, because if the sniper can't get you to react, the behavior loses its value. I get what they're saying. My mom used to say, when so-and-so teases you, it's because they like you, or when so-and-so teases you, you need to ignore it, or she never told me to fire back. But she always told me that if I react to it, so-and-so will keep teasing me. And it was kind of how it went back then in grammar school. Now things are a little bit different because people get downright vicious and even go physical on people, which is not okay, obviously. But it does help if it's just a harmless sniper, I don't know, that just like gets a charge out of being sarcastic and witty. It would do you well to learn how to let it roll off of you or to play along with it if you can. The attitude to develop with snipers is one of amused curiosity, so you can put the behavior in perspective. When the sniper snipes, instead of taking it personally, get curious enough to focus on the sniper instead of yourself. Since sniping may be a symptom of insecurity, you may find the humor in the behavior by seeing your problem person as an insecure grade schooler. Perhaps you recall the single best response to sarcasm. I know you are, but what am I? Remember saying that in grammar school? Or the second best response, I am rubber and you're glue. Anything you say bounces off me and sticks to you. I've never heard that actually till I was an adult. I've never heard a kid say that. Thinking these thoughts can be a great help. Difficult as it may be to believe, saying them can too. It depends. I wouldn't say that to somebody that's like a narcissistic sniper because they're just going to say something mean back at you. Mary used to have to deal with a coworker named Ron, sniping at her in meetings. One day after a snipe, she said in a childlike voice, I know you are, but what am I? Everyone in the meeting laughed at the exchange except Ron. Mary had lightened things up with honor, discharged her discomfort, and revealed the sniper's childish behavior for what it was in one easy line. Ron, clearly not amused, never sniped at her again. I think that's more the exception than the rule, that would work out that way. I think Ron would probably retaliate. In today's day and age, he wouldn't have left it at that. But sometimes sniping will stop if you do it that way. I don't think it's, like I said, that's the exception more than the rule, I think. If sniping gets to you, really gets to you, learn to become an invincible master of your own responses. Find someone to serve as a model of cool, calm, and collected. Man, my voice is not awake yet. Or mentally change history by reviewing the memory of a time when someone sniped at you. Only this time you calmly take out your sniper with a simple flick of the verbal wrist. If you're dealing with the innocent sniper who really doesn't mean anything by it, some reframing is in order. See the remark as a sign of affection or a behavioral quirk. If you can't laugh at it, at least you can learn to laugh it off. Now, keep in mind, this book was written back in like 2000, so a lot of things have changed over the years and over time. There isn't a whole lot of harmless sarcasm and sniping going on. It's usually very pointed and direct and strategic. So this may not work for you. Just kind of, I guess, weigh your alternatives and look at your options before you use any of these techniques to handle your sniper. Your goal, to bring the sniper out of hiding. Your goal when dealing with snipers is to bring them out of hiding. Whatever type of sniper you face, whether the playful snipe, the controlling snipe, or the grudge snipe, you need to remember only this. Snipers can't snipe if there's nowhere to hide. Since snipers' limited power is derived from covert, not overt activity, once you have exposed their position, that position becomes useless. By dealing directly and assertively with sniper behavior, you take the fun out of it for them. And you even the odds by forcing them out of their hiding place and onto common ground. So we're going to go with an action plan here. But if you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the thumb up for a like and also share it with your friends and ring the bell. There's a little bell down below somewhere. That way you won't miss any future uploads. Action plan. Step 1. Stop, look, backtrack. Since your goal is to bring snipers out of hiding, you must first zero in on their hiding place. If because of something that's said or the way something is said, it seems to you that someone is taking shots at you, stop. Even in the middle of a sentence or a word, interrupt yourself and bring all your activity to a complete standstill. Scan for the sniper and then backtrack whatever they said, all in one smooth move. There is a great deal of power in interrupting yourself. Whether you're one-on-one or there are witnesses present, self-interruption brings all attention to bear on the sniper, including the attention of the sniper. If the snipe is a facial expression that others have seen, you may not be able to backtrack it verbally, but you can do a quick imitation of the facial expression you saw. Chances are it will get a laugh and relieve some tension on everyone's part. Whenever you follow a sniper's interruption with a quick backtrack of the offensive remark, that's equivalent to catching a bullet in midair and letting it fall harmlessly to the ground. The nonverbal message is, "You missed me." Jay stopped walking and he stood there facing Darren in the silence. He scanned the faces of the hallway assembly, then locked eyes with Darren. In a level tone and curious manner, Jay said, "So, I heard you say that I have nothing to say, but you have to wait a long time to hear it." Backtracking. Step 2, use searchlight questions. Now it's time to turn on the searchlight by asking a question to draw the sniper out on a limb to expose the behavior. There are 2 types of searchlight questions that you can ask the sniper. The intent question. When you say that, what are you really trying to say? You can ask for the true meaning of the communication, and you can possibly expose grievances the sniper is holding against you. The relevancy question. What does that have to do with this? You can ask for the relevance of the communication to the present situation. Sorry, I'm trying to yawn, and because of post-COVID garbage, I have trouble getting enough oxygen in to do that. It sounds crazy, but it's true. Whichever searchlight you use, the keys to using it well are to keep your tone neutral and have an innocent look on your face. Don't let any sarcasm creep in. The more calm and professional you are, the more powerful the effect. Let's examine these 2 searchlight questions using the situation in the hallway between Darren and Jay. If Jay were to ask Darren the intent question, it might go like this. When you say that it takes a long time to find out what I have to say, what are you really trying to say, Darren? Searchlight question, probing for the grievance. Nothing, just a joke, that's all. What's the matter? Darren says, trying to get in a second shot. Can't take a joke? Darren's face is now strictly business. Darren, when you say can't take a joke, I'm still wondering, what are you really trying to say? Searchlight question, probing for the grievance. Or Jay could use the other searchlight question, which asks for the relevance of the sniper's remark. To search for relevance, first state the purpose of the present situation or activity as you understand it. Then ask for the relevancy of the sniper's comment to the stated purpose, as in, what does that, what the sniper said, have to do with this, what you stated as the purpose of the activity? So if Jay were to ask Darren the relevancy question, it might go like this. Darren, we all have to work together in this division, stating purpose. My purpose in this job is to encourage teamwork, aligning himself with that purpose. What do your remarks about me have to do with our ability to work together as a team? Searchlight question, asking for relevancy. By using searchlight questions to inquire about the relevancy of a confusing or sarcastic remark, you refocus attention on a worthwhile purpose so that you can get back on track. In fact, you may find out what the relevancy is and in turn be able to resolve the problem. I want to say something here because I recently made a video just this morning about drunkenness and how it makes people act the fool and say mean things about people, etc. So these techniques in this book also most likely will not work with somebody under the influence of alcohol or a drug. So I'm encouraging you, don't even bother trying to reason with people under that influence. Now, my husband would disagree. He thinks that people that are drunk give you more of a honest answer, and they're going to tell all because their inhibitions are lowered. To me, somebody that's drunk talks crazy stuff and can be mean. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of the people, and the person I addressed this morning definitely says mean stuff when they're drunk. Mean. Just cruel. And when they're not drunk, they seem to be an okay person. That's what irritates me, is why do you have to go and do that and then come online and hurt people with your mouth? Why? And then claim to be a Christian. That's not okay. It's not okay at all. So don't try to apply these techniques with somebody in that state of mind or being. You're not going to get very far, I don't think. Back off. In that case, get on with what you were doing before the interruption. Keep sniping until the sniper is on breaks. In that case, keep backtracking and questioning. After a couple more failed attempts, the sniping behavior will stop, maybe. And drop out of the tree and launch a full-scale frontal tank attack. That's what I was thinking, is more often than not, when you confront a sniper in the way that they said to, you're going to be dealing with a tank at that point, because the sniper is going to turn from sarcasm into just bullying you, belittling you, coming at you, and, bringing that tank towards you, so to speak. So here we go, dealing with the tank strategy as needed. If the sniper becomes a tank and starts accusing you of being the cause of this or that problem, no problem. In a sense, you'll have actually improved the situation, because now you found out what the problem is to some degree. Hold on a second. I need to pick something up here before it gets ruined. But it is important to use the tank strategy to command respect, not only from the sniper, but also from those who witnessed the attack. Remember to hold your ground, interrupt their interruptions, backtrack the main accusation, and in this case, aim at your own bottom line before offering them the olive branch at a time and place of your own choosing. Good morning, LB. So, step 4. Finally got that breath in I was trying for. Go on a grievance period, or a grievance patrol. If you suspect that someone is holding a grudge against you, but you're not certain, go on patrol and see what you can scout out. If you find evidence of a grudge, you may want to clear the air. The best place to do this is in private. It sometimes helps to have a neutral third party present, but not for the first meeting. To begin the conversation, remind your sniper of any past negative statements that were made that you are aware of, and find out what the sniper was really trying to say by asking the intent question. Okay, again, I'm going to interject here. It's very rare that you're going to get somebody that's attacking you with sarcasm and sniping in private. That's not likely to happen, not in today's day and age. What are you going to say? Excuse me, can I have a word with you? Come on, they don't do that anymore. Not from my knowledge. That stuff is on like sitcoms. I haven't ever seen anybody in person actually do that. Now, maybe a manager might, like to an employee or something. But usually coworkers don't have time to do that. You're there to work. You don't have time to have deep discussions in the morning at the job or whatever. I've never seen it happen. If I'm wrong and stand corrected, that's fine, but I haven't witnessed that. Most likely, you're going to be dealing with your sniper in front of people in some way, shape, or form. If the sniper denies any hidden agenda, try to put yourself in the sniper's shoes. Mentally review the course of events as you understand them. Once you've come up with an idea, suggest it and watch for a reaction. If you think of several possibilities, rattle them all off. Preface your guesses by saying, I don't know what's going on for you, or I'm guessing here, but once you've guessed correctly, the sniper is likely to acknowledge what you've said and fill in any details you've overlooked. Yeah, probably as a tank yelling at you, most likely. If you are successful in bringing the grudge to the surface, it is imperative that you listen carefully to all your sniper has to say. Your goal is to have the sniper express his or her point of view completely until you understand it. Understanding doesn't mean you agree or disagree, or that you have anything to do about it. There is therefore no need to defend, explain, justify, or make excuses. Instead, backtrack, clarify, and help the sniper express the grievance fully, with no resistance on your part, doing your best to see events as the sniper sees them. Once you fully understand the nature of the grievance, let the sniper know that you understand and express your appreciation for the candid description of the problem. I'm going to stop here a second. Let's see how long this chapter goes. It's a pretty long one, but no, it's got a few more pages, so that's not a problem. So if you're noticing, I'm being kind of pessimistic when it comes to this chapter. And the reason why is I really have dealt with more people that mishandle communication than people that know how to, as far as online communication goes. In person, I don't deal with these issues at all. Very, very rarely have I ever dealt with somebody that just purposely picks at me and says mean things. The only time I did was when I had a narcissistic boss, which interestingly enough, she works at the same place I do now. What I thought was interesting was, okay, so our place of work closed down and we had to choose a new place to go. It almost seemed like she followed me on purpose. I'm sure she didn't, but there she was, like right out in front of me. Miss Laura, it's so good to see you. How are you doing? It's like, oh man. And there she is again. So it's good we made peace with each other and actually had to work together stocking the frozen section of the store in the other store before we closed down, because now she's in the store I'm in again. And I don't have bad words between us. I mean, she's not my manager, so I don't have to deal with her in that capacity, which makes it so much easier. I love my manager. I didn't think I did, but I worked with her yesterday, and she's phenomenal. She is just one of the best managers I've ever had. And it was a joy to work with her, at least thus far. Hopefully that stays the same. Or you may be having another discussion about Dee Dee switching jobs. But so far, everything's good. We all get along. The people I work with are great and helpful. We're a team. I love the teamwork aspect of a job. It makes it so much easier. We get the product out on the floor that needs to be there on time. And there isn't a bunch of confusion and anger between anybody. They do pick at each other. I hear them in the bakery room picking at each other. But so far, I haven't been the object of that. And if I was, I'd probably just laugh along with it. So yes, online, I see a lot more negative communication than I do in person, ever. So this would more or less apply to somebody online for me than someone in my personal life. Okay, if the grievance is just, acknowledge the validity of the grievance or admit to a mistake. By the way, welcome everybody that came in, 6 people, according to my screen here. Doing this will enhance your credibility and earn respect. If you have information that you believe would shed light on the situation, this is the point to let it be known. May I tell you how this happened? If the answer is no, simply reply, fair enough. This is true even with a grievance expressed in a public setting, where anyone curious to hear your side of the story will ask for it, either at the time or later on. Man, I could picture that. May I explain what happened? And the other person's like, no, I don't want to hear it. And the other person's like, wait, I want to hear. Let her talk. That happens online and in person at times. For example, you're at a meeting. The sniper makes a sarcastic comment. You backtrack and ask for the intent question, searching for the grievance. The sniper tells you, you're taking too long to tell us too much. We don't need all these details right now. And you've already gone over the time allotted to you. Other people need to speak too, If you determine that the accusation is true, simply say, you're right, I'll finish this up, and I'll yield the floor to someone else. If you get into this private meeting and the sniper won't talk, then the sniper qualifies as a nothing person. You'll find more information on that coming up. Step 5, suggest a civil future. Whether in private or in public, finish the interaction by suggesting an alternative behavior for the future. It can be helpful to first unite with the sniper on a higher intent. That is the good of the company, the team, and so on. Then say, in the future, if you have a problem with me, come talk to me about it one-on-one. I promise to hear you out. Until you've made it explicit, the sniper may not have known that talking with you is even an option. At the end of any encounter or discussion with snipers, it's important to let them know that your preference in the future is open and honest communication. Once again, this whole, I'll talk to you in private and I promise to hear you out. This book was written in the year 2000, probably when people did that sort of thing and actually listened and heard you out. It is 2022. Most people are going to say, I'm not going to talk to you in private. I don't have time for all that. We're going to just air it out right here. Say what you have to say. Let's just be real. How do people interact with each other? It's in your face most of the time. Even if you're a shy person and you don't like confrontation, which I don't like confrontation, and I am a bit shy in person, a lot more shy than I am on here. I can tell you that for sure. Shy people don't like confrontation, so they're not likely to go behind closed doors with you one-on-one for you to explain your grievance. And if they're the ones causing the grievance, they're still not going to want to go one-on-one with you, most likely. It's too intimidating for most people to do that. So again, this is the views and opinions of the authors of the book, Dr. Rick Brinkman and Dr. Rick Kirshner. Not my opinions all the time. I don't agree with everything they say, especially since the book was written so long ago. Special situation, friendly fire. Although, eat the meat, spit the bones, take from this what you will. take the good stuff that you're like, hey, that's a good point. I could use that. Let's try that. If you don't like it, don't, toss it out. Don't do it. Friendly fire. So what about the snipers who actually like you and are just playfully teasing you? By the way, you will know the difference. It'll be in how it feels in here. Jib jabs, they're cool in here. It's just like, oh, that's just silly. But some of the mean cutting videos that poke fun and criticize me, it gets me here. Like, ouch, why would you say that? Or I know why you would say that, because that's the type of person you are, whoever it might be. But it's still mean, and it hurts, and it makes me angry. Okay, so friendly fire. So these are the people that actually like you. They're just kind of picking at you and teasing you. How do you get them to stop making jokes at your expense? Remember, it's best to call attention to the behavior in private when you can, because embarrassing them or humiliating them in public serves no one's long-term interest. Now, this is not talking about YouTube. A lot of times we do things in public because that's just the MO of YouTube. That's just how it's run. It's how we do things. Use the honesty strategy to let them know that you don't enjoy or appreciate the put-down humor. Tell them that it isn't fun for you and that whenever it happens, you want to avoid them. Let them know that you would prefer to feel great about them and then ask for what you want. Though they may not understand how anyone could take offense at something clearly so benign and playful, they probably will change their behavior around you, at least for a couple of weeks. Your goal in that 2-week period is to appreciate them every time they make a joke that's not a snipe. Since their intent is to get appreciation, they just might find that they can get it through your positive reinforcement. One of the best people I know with playful snipes is Spoofer. She makes playful spoof snipes. She means no harm. As far as I'm concerned, I know Spoofer pretty well now, and I think she's just playing around. She's trying to have a good time. And if anybody tells her, that hurt me, from my knowledge, she takes the video down. She's done it for me. So, I don't know. I just see her as a really great example of this, and don't take it as anything other than, a pat on the back spoof, because I've seen you take down videos that people didn't find funny that you thought were just playful and harmless. You're a great example of that. So follow Spoof's example for that. Okay, special situation, third-party sniping. This will be interesting. Okay. Occasionally you hear a report that so-and-so said such and such about you. We hear this all the time on YouTube. The question is, who's the sniper in this scenario? Is it the so-and-so, or is it the person who's telling you this is so? Sometimes informants are really snipers in disguise. They frame other people with a comment taken out of context, sharpen it to a point, and then plunge it into your chest with an innocent, "Did you hear what so-and-so said about you?" If the reason that you're being told about the supposed snipe by this particular informant somehow escapes you, turn on the searchlight. Ask, does so-and-so know that you're telling me this? If the answer is no, then tell the informant you'll discuss this further only with all parties involved. You, the accused, and the informant. Let's go talk to so-and-so. This will end it right then and there, as the informant seeks to get away from the bright searchlight of your questions. That's true. Now, I've used this actually with people where I've said, do they know that you're telling me this? 9 times out of 10, they don't really answer me. They're like, well, I just think you should know. And right then and there that they're being the informant, but they're also the sniper at the same time, because they're trying to triangulate you usually. So yeah, that's a hard position to be in. Usually you're not going to get to the point of let's all three talk about it, especially not on YouTube. That's not going to happen unless all three of you get on a panel and start screaming at each other. I've seen that happen. And then nothing gets resolved. Everybody just hates each other and goes their own separate ways, or just keeps picking at each other. Okay, suppose, however, that your informant is a trusted confidant whom you can count on for reliable information. In that case, drop what you're doing and go directly to the possible snipers. Tell them what you've heard and ask if it's true, because even a reliable source can get it wrong. If the supposed sniper asks, "Who told you that?" This happens all the time on YouTube. Remember to protect the identity of your source and answer the question by restating the original question. Actually, that's not the question. I'm asking you, did you say this about me? The strategy with snipers, whether the snipe is done to you, around you, or behind your back, is to bring them out of hiding by making the behavior of sniping uncomfortable. If the supposed sniper denies having said anything, let it go, because the sniper's discomfort rather than a confession is your goal. Should you hear about it again, repeat the process, because snipers can't snipe if you don't let them hide. So it's basically a confrontation of the sniper, kind of catching them at their own game. Okay, here's a little picture here for you. They're sitting in front of some type of a TV camera, it looks like. Okay, great moments in difficult people history. Let's rejoin Jay and Darren and see how Jay handled his sniper. Yeah, that Jay, said Darren to Jay's coworkers. You ask him what time it is, he tells you how to make a watch. He's got nothing to say, but you have to wait so long to find out. Ha 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 ha. And then, turning his head in the direction of everyone else's gaze, uh-oh, here's the big man himself. Hi, everyone, said Jay. Darren, I need your help with something. Can I talk to you in my office for a moment? Once they got there, Jay didn't mince words. Darren, it must be very tough for you to have been here as long as you have, and have someone younger and more junior in the organization come in and snatch a promotion from you that you deserved. Go on a grievance patrol. Then he stopped and looked at Darren, waiting for a response. Darren sat there, tight-lipped, brow furrowed, staring at Jay with a smoldering fury in his eyes. Jay continued, I know it doesn't matter that I didn't ask for or want this promotion. If I were in your position, I guess I'd feel a bit unappreciated by this company. Darren sighed. Jay went on. I think you're very capable, and I've learned a lot from you in the time we've worked together. We're here to make a quality product that will in turn make people's lives with computers easier and more productive. To do that successfully, we need to be a team, uniting on a higher intent. I want you on that team, Darren. I think you have a lot to offer. What are we going to do? Finally, Darren spoke. Well, you're right about one thing. It's not fair. I've been here so much longer than you, and I have put in the effort. Jay just listened silently, nodding and occasionally backtracking as Darren continued. Once Darren had vented his grudge, he seemed to transform back into the rational person Jay had originally known him to be. But I guess it isn't your fault. Then Jay spoke. If there's a problem between us in the future, can I count on you to come to me rather than talk about me? Suggest a civil future. Jay moved the relationship into the future himself when he asked, then I can depend on you to be the constructive team member I know you to be? Yeah, Darren said somewhat shyly, and then added, Mr. Manager. Then they both laughed. Okay. Again, probably not the way the scenario would turn out in reality. It probably would be where Darren just kept on yelling at the boss or the manager or whatever, or just refused to talk or pouted and walked away, or maybe even quit the job. I've never known civil discussions to be a thing that is common in these kind of situations, which is why, as I said, in my real life, these rarely even happen. I haven't seen it. I just see people come to work, do their job, maybe snipe at each other, triangulate each other, and then they just avoid each other. I never see this, oh, can I talk to you privately? And no, it just doesn't happen. Not in my world anyway, not so far. Not anymore. Maybe back in the day, in the early 2000s possibly, but not now. If you do, and you have a office you work in and you've seen this, I'd love to hear your story. Comment down below or type into chat, whatever. Please tell me. It's not my experience. Okay, the Great Relevancy Challenge. Sue worked for a small manufacturing company in Indiana. She was the only woman in her department, and she was the only woman at the weekly staff meetings. One of the men attending these meetings was a sexist sniper who seemed to find great pleasure in irritating and undermining Sue with his provocations. Whenever she tried to call attention to his sometimes cruel, consistently crude remarks, his response was typically, "Hey, don't get all emotional. Can't you take a joke?" The other men would snicker and chuckle, and Sue would become despondent. One day, Sue decided she needed an attitude adjustment. She came to us with her story, telling us how they're all against me, and we have offered her another point of view. We pointed out to her that the other men in the group might not be laughing at her after all. They might be laughing out of their discomfort, because that's what a lot of people do when they don't know what else to do to get beyond an uncomfortable moment. We asked if she had ever laughed nervously. Yeah, she laughed nervously. I guess I have. Next, we suggested she should focus her attention on the sniper instead of on the rest of the men in the group. We gave her the sniper strategy, asked her to mentally rehearse it a few times before trying it out, and sent her on her way. A couple weeks later, she called in great spirits and she reported on her progress. She said that she had neutralized the sniper with the Searchlight for relevancy, and it worked like a charm. After the snipe, she had turned to the sniper and with calm curiosity said, "It's my understanding that the purpose of this meeting is to come up with innovations for our quality improvement program," stating the purpose of the meeting. "My proposal is intended to improve quality," aligning herself with that purpose. "I am just wondering how your comment," here she backtracked the sexist remark, "contributes to that purpose of improving quality." Searchlight relevancy question. She followed this with her most innocent look. He responded in his typical way, "Hey, babe, don't get all emotional. Can't you take a joke?" But she was ready. With growing curiosity, she backtracked this remark, then asked, "What does my emotional state and sense of humor have to do with innovations to improve quality?" Searchlight relevancy question. Wow, this is brilliant, actually. No matter what he said, she backtracked and asked for relevancy. In the glare of her Searchlight questions, his former allies suddenly started looking at him as if to say, "Who let that jerk in here? We don't know him." His last words, "Forget it." And that was the end of that. Except for later, we suspect, when his former allies teased him mercilessly for the way she got the better of him. So here's our quick summary. Hi, baby boy. Hi, my bobo. I got a tail up in my face. Number 1, stop, look, backtrack. Number 2, use Searchlight questions. Number 3, use the tank strategy if needed, which I would say in today's day and age, more often than not, is going to be. 4, go on a grievance patrol. I think that's important in every situation like this. And number 5, suggest a civil future. So there you go. That explains how to do it when you are dealing with the sniper, sarcastic, irritating, sometimes sexist remarks from a person. Hi, baby boy. My baby. My sweet man. What you doing? What you doing, Mr. Big Telltale? You're so big, Bobo. What happened to my little kitten? You grew up. Okay, so the next chapter will be this one, the Know-It-All, chapter 12. Hope you will tune in for that as well. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Does anybody have any input, takeaways, anything you want to talk about? Or maybe you have something you can share with me about times you actually did witness a civil discussion or had a civil discussion with someone. I would love to know. You are so beautiful, my man. You are just the most beautiful man in the world. It's just Kitty Man. Who wants one of these beautiful guys? Oh, you're so sweet. Anyway, anybody at all got anything to say? If not, that's okay. We can close down for now and talk to you on the next video. I will try to post some other of my videos on this topic here, or here. I do that purposely because I don't know where I'm going to post it after the fact. But it's always in one of those corners, I think, when I remember to post it or when I can. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. We will close with this beautiful man's face in the camera. Look at the beautiful face with the human eyes. He's got people eyes. Show him your beautiful eyes, man. Look at these beautiful human eyes. Those are not cat eyes. He's got people eyes. You are just an amazing boy. So this is the star of the show, Mr. Bowman. Bo. Bo means beautiful, and he is. You guys have a great day. We'll see you soon. Thanks for your attention, your kindness, and I appreciate any comments down below. Thanks. Be blessed. Shalom. Shabbat shalom.